Let's make something delicious. For this deep dish pizza casserole, we are going to start with our meat. Well, actually, you should probably start with preheating your oven to 350 degrees. But we're going to start with our meat, which this is an equivalent of 2 pounds, but you can use any of your choice. This is 1 pound of ground beef and 1 pound of sweet Italian sausage. You can use sweet or hot. You can use all Italian sausage. You can use all ground beef. I tend to use a leaner beef. I'm using an 85/15. You can use what you like, but you do have less fat to try to drain out if you use a leaner beef. Any way you choose to do it, just make sure it's the equivalent of 2 pounds of ground meat. And you want to season that up with some salt and pepper. And you want to fry it till it's most of the way done, because you have to add something else to it, so don't get it all the way done yet. Now your meat is most of the way done. It still has a little bit of pink to it, but it's most of the way done. And I've drained off a lot of the grease, because you don't want this to be greasy, so you want to drain off a lot of it. So now we are going to add a good bit of granulated garlic. It's up to you how much you add. We like a lot of flavor around here, so I'm going to add a good bit. I'm going to add probably around a half teaspoon. And we are going to add a good strong tablespoon of Italian seasoning. Now, like I've told you, when you use dried herbs, you want to rub them between your hands to release the oils so that it livens them back up. Now you want to mix that in, and it starts smelling good the minute that hits the pan. It starts smelling amazing, because you've got a lot of flavor in here between the Italian sausage and the beef, and then when you add those spices, you get a lot of great smells going on. Now at this point, you want to add anything that you like on a pizza, that is your favorite pizza topping. I love green peppers, so I'm adding about 1 green pepper, or the equivalent thereof. I am using frozen that we grew here on our homestead, but you want to use about 1 green pepper. If you like red pepper, do red pepper. If you like mushrooms, add some mushrooms at this point. If you like pepperoni, chop up some pepperoni and put in here. Whatever you like on your pizza, throw it in here. It's just going to make it better. And to be completely honest, it's just going to make it better the more you add. Now you want to continue to cook this until your peppers start to get a little tender and your meat gets fully done. Now my meat is fully done and my peppers are starting to get tender, or any other vegetables you may have added, whether it be onions or mushrooms or whatever you may have added to it. So now I am going to add 2 cups of either spaghetti sauce or pizza sauce. You can do whichever you want. I'm using my home canned pasta sauce, but you can use whatever is your favorite. Now you want to stir this all around and get it all mixed in good, and heat it till it's fully heated through, till everything is heated through and the flavors are kind of married together, which will take probably roughly about 5 minutes for all that to happen on about medium heat. Now our meat mixture is done, and we've taken it off the heat so that it can start cooling down just a little bit. And what is anything pizza without a crust? So this is your kind of crust. In this bowl, we have 1 cup of all-purpose flour and a half a teaspoon of salt. Now you just want to mix that together. And now we are going to put in 1 cup of milk, 2 large eggs, and 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Now you want to mix all this together. It's going to seem like a wet pancake batter. See, it is the consistency of basically a wet pancake batter. Now let's assemble this casserole. Now we have a 13 by 9 baking dish. I am using glass. To me, glass works better with something like this because the acid metal, you may get a little bit of a metallic taste, so I would recommend stoneware or glass. We have it sprayed really generously with some cooking spray. I use coconut oil spray because it doesn't all run to the bottom. It solidifies around the sides. We have about 2.5 cups, I should say 2.5 generous cups of shredded mozzarella cheese. I have always done it with the finely shredded. I shredded this myself. I have never done it with the thick shredded. I don't know that it would work as well. And as you can see, our meat mixture is all come together and looks beautiful, smells amazing. Now we are going to start spooning this over our cheese. Yes, the cheese goes on the bottom. You will see it all comes together. Now you want to make sure this is at a nice even layer over your cheese, because you want to make sure everything is nice and even with this. That way it bakes right. Otherwise, it may not come out right if you don't make sure everything's nice and even and make sure there's no holes. So now comes in our topping or crust. Now you are going to slowly pour it over top. Just drizzling it back and forth because you want to make sure that you have enough to go over the entire casserole. And you don't want to have to borrow from Peter to pay Paul. So just spread it around evenly. This recipe makes plenty enough for a whole 13 by 9, so you don't need to double it. Now you want to gently spread it around. Don't bring up any of your meat mixture or anything like that. Just gently spread it over the top. Now we are going to top this with a generous amount of Parmesan cheese. I would say about 3/4 of a cup. I always do a generous amount because it just adds to the flavor. It helps it get nice and brown on top. It just makes it amazing. So the more Parmesan you add, the better. Now this is a personal preference, but I always, on my pizza, I always like to sprinkle a little bit of oregano over my pizza. So for this deep dish pizza casserole, I'm also going to sprinkle a little bit of oregano over top, or a lot of it. We're oregano freaks around here. Now we are going to pop this into our 350-degree preheated oven until the top is completely set and everything's all cooked together. I'll show you what it looks like when we're there. Now this beauty is out of the oven and it smells amazing. Now when it first came out, it was bubbled up more than this, so don't be alarmed if it's bubbled up. That's what you want it to do. This baked for exactly 30 minutes. And now you want to leave it sit for about 5 minutes or so, just like you would a lasagna or anything like that, because it will all settle together. Because you got to remember, the whole bottom layer is melted cheese. So you want that to set up just a little bit so that you can get it out easier. Sometimes you have to dip this out. Sometimes you can cut it in slices and pull it out. It depends on how cool you let it get before you try to dig in. So if you let it get really cool, you can cut it in slices and pull it out. If not, you have to dip it out. But no matter what, it is amazing. So remember, come back next time to Angela K's Kitchen, where I take you from gourmet to everyday and everything in between. God bless.